We're now joined by the former Minority Affairs Minister, Smriti Irani ji. Smriti ji, namaste. This is Anand Narsimhan here, and you're live with us at CNN News 18. I just want to ask you, ma'am, the contours of the WAQF Amendment Bill. Perhaps a lot of the meetings were conducted when you were the Minority Affairs Minister. So can you take us through what were the discussions? Because the opposition has said that this is to bulldoze, the government wants to bulldoze minorities, especially Muslim interests.
I think it's a historic day when amendments proposed to ensure that the rights of especially poor Muslim families, Muslim women and children can be secured have found hope in Parliament today. It is very appropriate to say that जो उम्मीद थी मोदी जी से उस उम्मीद पर वो खरे उतरे and the bill is appropriately called Umeed also. Now let's get into the details of the accusations of the opposition, Anand. Firstly, it is incorrect to say that the government did not have an expansive, elaborative engagement with stakeholders at large across the country. I myself had the privilege as Minister Minorities of engaging with close to 18 to 20 states, 19 to be precise, as has been enunciated in Parliament today. Not only state government officials but also WAQF board members, chairpersons, CEOs who were part of engagements which brought forth what are the challenges boards face, what are the challenges Muslim community members face, what are the challenges women have faced, how we can leverage technology to elaborate or enhance the capacities of boards to serve the cause of WAQFs. And I'm very glad today that the detail to which the bill addresses these concerns have now found a public space for discussion and deliberation. What also needs to be said is that in the enunciation by the government today in Parliament, you found remnants of discussions that we've had in states such as Uttar Pradesh, in states such as Maharashtra. What has been particularly, I think for me, an issue of great satisfaction is the fact that today the amendments also speak about protecting the inheritance rights of Muslim women. The amendments also speak about how earnings from the WAQF can be now utilized to secure the livelihoods or secure the future of widowed and divorced Muslim women. What is also particularly delightful for me is the fact that not only the Muslim community but any Indian who has a challenge with regards to a WAQF board now under the act which is proposed can find refuge in Indian judiciary as well. This is something which was disallowed in the amendments that were brought forth by the UPA led by the Congress party.
The opposition believes that the government has an eye on the 9 lakh acres or 9 lakh odd acres of land that is being held by the WAQF. One of the allegations is that you want control of that land, and that's why this amendment is being moved in.
Firstly, the board is to be constituted by respective state governments. The Government of India has no role in constituting state boards. Secondly, the fact that state boards will have an amalgam of people from all communities of the Muslim community, which means Shias, Sunnis, Bohras, Aga Khanis, Muslim women will find a voice. Does the opposition feel that Shias, Sunnis, Aga Khanis, Bohras and Ahmadiyas and Muslim women do not have the wherewithal to protect the legal rights of Muslims who specially approach the board and seek the refuge of the board? I think that when the opposition mounts such an attack on the intention of the board that is proposed, that in itself I think is extremely unfortunate. Secondly, when the opposition says that the government intends to usurp the rights of Muslims, I would like to attract your attention to page 7 of the act that is proposed, which is now in public domain, which particularly the government itself has proposed that no minister from the Government of India or state government has to be a part of the boards. So if the government's intention was to usurp the board's rights or usurp the property rights of Muslims in this country, would it itself draft an act or an amendment which particularly keeps out ministers of the central government or state governments? I think that today the amendments that have been proposed bring forth a huge amount of transparency. One, that the revenue officer who legally certifies whether you genuinely own a property or not now can find a direct interface with the Muslim member who creates a WAQF. Secondly, I feel that given the backlog in various tribunals and WAQF boards with regards to complaints by the Muslim community either against the managers that we call mutawallis or board members now will find speedy justice, because the courts of India now find a genuine place for engagement with WAQFs. I also believe that many people are looking at the functionality of boards very myopically.
Yeah.
There have been cases, let's say in Andhra Pradesh, where a Waqf board has declared Ahmadiyyas as non-Muslims. Now this is not the function of the Waqf board in Andhra Pradesh. There have been cases which have been reported by an agency which is not, as the opposition likes to call, Godi media, in fact is extremely opposed to the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has in fact reported that after triple talaq ban, a particular state board has been used to give khulas, much against the wishes of Muslim women who were not subjugating themselves to being forced into annulling their marriage. And such board members have been found to be in cahoots with certain qazis to give khulas, thereby annulling a marriage of a Muslim woman without her consent.
Okay.
So there are many such issues which I think these amendments that are proposed will address.
One of the issues that Akhilesh Yadav, I'm sure you would have heard him in Parliament, he raised is about empowering the district magistrates. He said एक district magistrate के करने से, and he made a reference and he said सालों तक और आगे पीढ़ियाँ भी उसको भुगतेंगी. How can you trust and empower the DMs? That was one. The other one is why allow non-Muslims into the CBC, CWC.
Uttar Pradesh, as the erstwhile Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, did he never engage with revenue officers? Did he find anybody apart from revenue officers who could certify whether a property belongs to that particular individual or not? As the erstwhile Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, is he of the opinion that DMs of a district are not to be trusted, irrespective of their religion? And insofar as CWC goes, I've had the privilege of being the chairperson of the Central Waqf Council as Minister Minority, and I am a practicing Hindu. Did I usurp any masjid? Everybody who spoke from the opposition today, were they only Muslims who spoke up? So I think that this is a very myopic and an unfortunate stand that only Muslims can speak for the benefit of Muslims. Only Hindus can speak for the benefit of for Hindus. And when the Prime Minister's government proposes non-Muslims, does it mean Hindu? Is Akhilesh ji or anybody in the opposition in any way suspecting, let's say, a Sikh lady or gentleman on a board who has served either as a judge in the High Court or the Supreme Court? So I think that the opposition should read elaborately the amendments proposed. I also welcome the fact that the government has proposed a JPC, which also highlights that the government is in a mood of collaboration so that they can bring more transparency and can provide more strength to Muslim women who are beleaguered or Muslim poor families who are seeking justice.
How can a ghair Muslim run a masjid or a dargah? Another MP, very staunch Muslim, said,
But
our ways, how will the non...
Where did the whole act say that a Muslim... But Anand, where did the whole act say that a non-Muslim has to run a masjid or a dargah?
That's the perception built that the Waqf will now be controlled by non-Muslims.
No,
Waqf
but
will,
I'm
and they
saying
will
now
run
the
masjids
act
and
is in
dargahs.
public domain. No, but the act says that the board is not running masjids and dargahs, is it?
The
Is the
CWC
board
has it.
member going and giving azans? Is the board giving azans? It's not. So I think that you have to look at it from a perspective of protection of property rights of Muslims, which has been adjudicated before by various courts across the country. Can you imagine that the Congress had proposed an amendment or a law where somebody who wants refuge of the judiciary of India cannot find so because the act did not provide for it?